Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here with my second horror movie review, which now I'm going to review the original Halloween by John Carpenter from 1976. Or, sorry, 1976, sorry, 1978. Yeah. Yeah, so I just finished watching the movie a few minutes ago, and I thought this was a pretty good movie right here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was really suspenseful, had a lot of violent deaths in it, and yeah, I mean, what else can you say about a horror movie? I think this was a really enjoyable horror movie right here. Yeah, yeah. This was Jamie Lee Curtis's first movie of her career. Yeah, yeah. And the amazing thing about this movie is that hardly any blood was seen, but this was still the deaths in this movie were still pretty violent. And so yeah, I thought this was a really good movie. I give this 3.5 stars out of 4. Yeah, so yeah, I'm sure probably everyone knows what how the movie Halloween is about. It's about Michael Myers going around stalking mostly Laurie Strode. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, let me just get right into this review. Alright, so the movie starts off with the opening titles with the Halloween theme playing. The dun 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 dun. Yeah. And then we cut to Halloween night in 1963. We see Michael Myers' view. We see him watching like his sister and her boyfriend like making out, and then we see Michael Myers walking around the house. He's only like 6 years old at this point. Yeah. And then we saw him grab a kitchen knife. Then we saw him put on a clown mask, and then he eventually got to his sister, and he killed her. And then, yeah, he just stabbed her with a knife, and we could see there was blood on her chest. And then as he was coming out of his house, his parents caught him. Yeah, still coughing, as you can see. I'm really sorry. Yeah. And then we cut Michael Myers' doctor, Dr. Loomis, hearing what a judge sentenced him to. He sentenced him to like being in a like minimum security ward or something. Yeah, and then Dr. Loomis suggested that they send him to a maximum security ward because he's like his most dangerous patient. Yeah, and the judges like told him that the sentence stands or whatever. And then Dr. Loomis went over to Michael Myers' room, said that he didn't have him fooled. Yeah. And then we cut October 30th, 1978, where Dr. Loomis is in a car with some woman driving. And then when they get to their stop, when they stop, Dr. Loomis gets out. Now the lady driver gets jumped by Michael Myers, and Michael Myers hijacks the car. Yeah. Then we get to the next day on Halloween where Laurie Strode is walking to school and she bumps into like a kid she's babysitting that night, Tommy. And they pass by Michael Myers' old house or something. Then Laurie goes up to the door for to do something, and then she comes back, and then we can see Michael Myers inside. And as Laurie and Tommy leave, we see Michael Myers. He comes and we see over his shoulder. Yeah. Yeah, and then we later on when Laurie was at school, she could like sort of sense Michael Myers was around or something. Yeah, but she didn't see anything. Yeah. Then we also saw some kids like teasing Tommy about the boogeyman and coming to get him or something. And then we could see like Michael Myers. We didn't see his head, but we just saw like his upper body area. Yeah, as Tommy was like walking away, we saw him getting in the car, and he was like driving around Tommy, like stalking him or something. And we saw Dr. Loomis like in the middle of nowhere making a call to someone about Michael Myers. Then he saw like there was a truck or something, like off the road or something. God, I really wish this cough would really stop. Yeah. And then as Dr. Loomis was walking away from the truck, we like saw the dead body. We saw a few blood places on him. And then Lori and a couple of her friends were walking home from school. And then Lori like saw Michael Myers like standing behind a bush or something. Then when Lori and one of her friends went to check, he wasn't there. Yeah. And then when Lori got home, when she went upstairs, she could see Michael Myers by the clotheslines outside. And then it cut over to Lori, and then back over to the clotheslines. Michael Myers was gone. Yeah. And then, then later on, Lori and her friend Annie were driving over to babysit kids across the street. Lori was babysitting Tommy, and then Annie was babysitting a girl named Lindsay. And on the way, they stopped by. They drove by, I should say, Annie's dad, who was a cop. And then Dr. Loomis came over to him, convinced him to help him, like, search for Michael Myers or something. Then we saw Lori babysitting Tommy. They were, like, watching TV, and Annie was reading Tommy a story. I mean, Lori was reading Tommy a story. And over at Lindsay's house, Lori was... God, I'm not getting the names right, yeah. Lindsay was just, like, obsessed with a scary movie or something. And, yep. Then, like, there was a mess on Annie's clothes or something, so she took all her clothes off, and, like, we saw Michael Myers outside watching her, like, taking off her clothes and then putting on some kind of blouse. And then Lindsay's dog was barking a lot, and then he saw Michael Myers outside and he was barking. And Michael Myers strangled the dog, but we didn't see him do it. The shot was on Annie when Michael Myers was doing it. Then later on, like, Dr. Loomis and Annie's dad were searching Michael Myers' old home or something. Yeah, and then Dr. Loomis was telling Annie's dad a little bit about Michael Myers. Yeah. And Annie got a phone call from her boyfriend Paul or something. And so she took Lori. She took Lindsay to stay over with Lori and Tommy. And then as Annie was in the car, ready to drive off, Michael Myers was in the car, and he strangled her, pulled her to death. And then Tommy looked out the window, and he could see Michael Myers carrying Annie, his dead body. And he was telling Lori and Lindsay that he saw the boogeyman, but yeah, they didn't believe him. Then later on, another one of Lori's friends, Linda, and her boyfriend Bob came over to Annie's house. They were decided to stay over there since Lindsay was gone for the night. Then they got in bed and started to have sex, and then Linda sent Bob down to get a beer for her. And as Bob was in the kitchen, he was just kind of looking around, looking for Annie and Paul. And then, when he opened one door, Michael Myers came out and he choked Paul and then stabbed him to death. Then Michael Myers covered himself with a sheet, making him look like a ghost. He was wearing Bob's glasses. He went back up to the room, and Linda was saying how she thought it was cute that he was wearing a sheet. And then none of her questions were being answered, and then she decided to call over to Lori. Yeah. And then, as Lori picked up the phone, then Michael Myers took off the sheet and was choking out Linda with the phone cable, and then she died. Then Lori finally decided to go over to Annie to Lindsay's house to see what was going on. And when she went in, she saw that that all of Annie, Bob, and Linda were dead. And then Michael Myers popped up, and like he stabbed her in the arm and cut her shirt sleeve. And then Laurie tumbled down the stairs. And then she ran out of the house back over to Tommy's place. And she was telling Tommy and Lindsay to hide upstairs. And then Michael Myers popped up from behind the couch. He was meaning to stab Laurie, but he stabbed the couch cushion. Then Laurie stabbed Michael Myers in the neck with a yarn needle. And then she went upstairs to tell Tommy and Lindsay that everything was alright. Then Michael Myers got back up and he went upstairs. Laurie told Tommy and Lindsay to hide. Alright, and then Laurie was hiding in the closet. Michael Myers tried to break in. Yeah, and then Laurie stabbed Michael Myers, or poked him in the face with a hanger, then stabbed him with the knife. Then he was down again. Then Laurie told Tommy and Lindsay to go down the street and call the police. And then as they were running out, Dr. Loomis saw them screaming and running, so he kind of had a feeling that Michael Myers was in there. And he went inside, and then Michael Myers recovered again, tried to strangle Laurie. Laurie was able to like pull Michael Myers' mask off, and we saw his face for the one and only time in the entire series. And as he was putting the mask back on, Dr. Loomis shot Michael Myers, and he shot him like 6 times, and then Michael Myers fell out of the window, fell out of the house and to the ground. And then, as Dr. Loomis went over to check, Michael Myers was gone. And yeah, it ended with just it showing like the other rooms in the house and the other houses like on the block and something. You did not know where Michael Myers was, and that was how it ended. Yeah. Alright. So yeah, 3.5 stars out of 4. Yeah. This was a really good movie right here. So yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's it for this review. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.